Hi everyone. So previously we saw the structure in C. So today we are going to start with the functions. So what is basically a function? So a function is a block which contains certain amount of tasks, and once you call that particular function, it will execute that task. So let's get started. So today's video is going to be functions in C. So if you have noticed, like whenever we used to write a program after hash include stdio.h, we used to make a main function. So that main, and then those curly braces, circular braces, so that is also function. So main is the main function. The word itself gives the meaning why it is a main function. To execute every task, you must have a main function in a program. So let's start. Hash include stdio.h, and here we are going to start with the main function. Now main. So how you give, how you call, or how you write a function is you just have the function name, then we have a circular brace, and then we open the curly braces, and within that curly braces we used to write the function tasks, what that function is going to execute. So till now, up till now, how many programs we have written? So we used to write the task within the main function. So the main function executes those tasks. Now here we are going to make a function, a simply. So now let's make another function. So I'll just write over here as saying printf. I'll write here like calling function, calling function main. So this is that we are executing main function, and after that I'm going to create a function called as say call it as a function. I will make it just as a function only. So here's this, I'm calling the function, and this is, and I'm going to describe that function as this. So it's going to be a void function, so void and then function name. So here my function name is actually function, so don't get confused in that. And here I'm defining my function. So here I will have just a printf statement stating that we are in function, we are in function, and that's it. So I will give here a backslash of n over here. So this is a simple function that we create. So what we are basically going to do is inside the main function we are going to call the function. So I'll write here as, I will change over here as just say test function or print function. No, we don't need a print function. We'll write over here as say text function. I'm creating a text function. Let's change because there will be a lot of confusion. So I'm making over here as text. So inside the main function we are going to call a text function. The text function will return, will print the value which is inside the text function. So let's run it. So here we are not having any input values, so we are not going to put any inputs. We'll simply run it, and you can see now calling function main, and you can see we are in function, or you can say we are in function name test, function name text, Okay, let's run it again. So you can see calling function main, we are in function name text. So this is how you call a function, particularly which is a void function. And so this was a simple function program. Now now let's say you want to calculate, you want to make an integer function. So instead I will write over here as print enter two numbers. Let's enter two numbers, and for this I'll have to define first the integers. So int a comma b, and then over here I'll write over here as scanf. So percent d comma and a comma and b, and that's it. And after that I'm going to create an add function. So I'm going to pass these numbers through through the add function that I'm going to create. So I'm simply going to pass this value a and b, and here I'm going to make change. I'm going to make here as an integer function, so it is going to be an int add, and since I'm passing the values through this function, so I have to create here as int. You can put any name over here, either a or b or x or y as you wish. So I'm simply gonna int a and int b. So these are the two functions, two numbers that I'm passing through the add function. Now whenever you specify a function, so make sure what type of function it is going to be, whether it is going to be a void function or an integer function or a float function. So because you need to specify what type of function you are creating to the compiler so that the compiler can understand. Now here, as add is an integer function, basically because we are going to here play with the numbers, so add is basically going to be an addition function. So I'm going to define here int as sum, which is going to have the sum of a and b. So sum equals to a plus b, and that's it. And then I'm going to return the value which is stored in sum. So what this is going to do is it will return the value to the add function over here in the main function. So that is the only this is the add function as c equals to, which will call the add function. Here I will write here as printf, and then percent d is the sum. So here I'm going to have a backslash of n, and then comma c, as it is stored in c. So let's run this. So the two numbers I'm going to put is as 10 and 15. Okay, so you can see that it worked. So 25 is the sum, so we needed the return value statement over there. So you can see the add function now return sum. So this is how a function works when you're calling a function by passing a value. So here in this I passed 10 and 15 to the add function, and then it returned this value 25, which is the sum, and it got stored in C, and then we printed it. So these are the functions, how it works. So this is it. So thank you guys.